If I could sit there and plan this whole entire week and I could play it out, would I be happy with that? Because I noticed one thing happened to me, is that I would go through weeks and I'd get work done, and then by the end of the week, I did so much shit, but I wasn't actually happy. I wanted to share this lesson inside of this video specifically for you. If you get overwhelmed and maybe you're not on track to achieving the goals that you set in 2020. 2020 has been a funny year. It's been a chaotic year. There's been a lot of pivots and changes that I've personally had to make. I had to sit back, and the number one question that I asked myself this year was, what do I ultimately want? And the question that a lot of people don't ask, because we're not trained to ask what we want. We're not trained. This is conditioning that's happened over many, many years when you and I were young. And it happened with me because quite a lot of the times when I was growing up, I didn't get the luxury of asking for what I wanted. I had the luxury of getting what I was given. You know, being the last kid of 6 kids, my parents coming from Vietnam to Australia, not having any clue on how to make any money at all. And they were sewing clothes inside of factories and looking after 6 children. I was given a lot of hand-me-downs. There was no luxury of asking, what do you want, Lynn? Buying new things was out of the question. Buying any new clothes, everything was actually given to me. And if it wasn't given to me, then we would go to the opportunity shop, the secondhand store, and pick out some clothes for me. Okay, and so the majority of my childhood and the majority of my conditioning, the majority of conditioning around us right now isn't predicated on what you and I want. And so this question then becomes really interesting as I sat there at the start of this year, going, I'm getting to a point where what I have is good, but ultimately it's not what I want. And I came to this epiphany because, as you can see right now, I've got my dad hat on where I go for a walk with O. I wear this cap, turn it back to front, makes me feel young again. So when I'm with O, I can just feel alive. And so O's brought Ocean. O's short for Ocean. So Ocean's brought an immense amount of joy to my life. She's actually opened up a lot of, fulfillment for me. Business is one thing, and creating the art inside of business is one thing, but actually feeling fulfilled and feeling like my existence matters for a particular reason, that's what she brought to me. And so this year was just a question of, Lynn, what do you ultimately want? It was a question that I struggled with. It's a question that a lot of people struggle with, and chances are it's a question that you struggle with because what you want seems so far-fetched out of this world that you've never actually thought about it. You've thought about how to survive. You've thought about how to get your business through the next month. You've thought about how to get the next customer, the next client. You've thought about how to get that next paycheck. You've thought about how to get that next staff member to come in and just survive, right? And so it's a very interesting question because I was on my coaching call with my legacy coaching clients this morning, and it was setting up an intention for December to ask themselves this question: what do you ultimately want for your business? Amongst all of this chaos over the weekend, switching on, switching off again, coming into the week, the hardest part for all entrepreneurs starting the week is the chaotic thoughts of, holy fuck, I'm going into another week. What am I going to do this week? What am I going to do? What's my focus? And there's this whole immense amount of stress and anxiety that fuels me, or that used to fuel me on a Sunday night going into, I'm starting Monday tomorrow. And when I start Monday, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I just going to repeat, well, what did I do on Friday? What did I do last week? And then it just becomes this carryover, and there's this whole immense amount of stress and anxiety that comes over me. And so for a long time, I would start Monday really frantic. I'd start Monday going in, I'd wake up, I'd get a bout of anxiety, I'd get a bout of stress, and then I'd just get to work. And then by about 10 a.m., I would just be grinding away, dealing with problems after problems. And as I sat there this year, I was like, is this the way I want to continue to run my business? Is my business something that's going to take up 12 hours a day? Something that's going to take up a lot of real estate inside of my life? Is this worth it? Is this the business that I want? And if it's not, what do I want? Who do I want to work with? What are the type of clients I want to work with? How much do I want to charge? What work do I want to be doing? What's the art that I want to be doing inside of my business? Do I have programs and courses and training programs that I can help people with? What do I want to be talking about every single day? I don't want to be talking about tactics. I love the tactics because if you can write a really good tactic, you can monetize off it very, very well. And I will talk about tactics, but I actually don't want to talk about tactics. The majority of the reasons why people fail is because they don't set high enough standard, and they're not inspired by the work that they do, not because of the tactic that they don't have. And so I sat there this year to recreate the Category King, to recreate an agency, to recreate the fact that, hey, I love business and I love people. I love people that are experts at what they do. And They've got a voice and they've got a message, but they're so confused. They're so confused with what strategy they should follow. There's so much for them to do. There's so much of a learning curve for them to understand advertising, marketing, selling, delivery systems, operations, processes, tools. And they don't know how to put it all together. There are these people out there. There are you with so much potential, but you never actually step into that potential because the learning curve is way too steep, and it's you with a voice that I want to help. But in a manner not to save you. You don't need saving. In a manner to actually give you inspiration and hope and allow you to have the courage to speak what you know is to be true to the people that need to hear it the most. So my question then becomes this on a Sunday night. What do I want to happen this week? What needs to happen this week in order for it to be a successful week? You see, this is the most underrated question I could possibly ask myself, to sit back and to ask myself this question. What the do I want to happen this week? If I could play this forward, if I could sit there and plan this whole entire week and I could play it out, would I be happy with that? Because I noticed one thing happened to me, is that I would go through weeks and I'd get work done, and then by the end of the week, I did so much shit, but I wasn't actually happy. I don't know if you felt this yourself. You do so much by the end of the week and you're not even happy. And it feels like you haven't done anything done. And a simple question that you need to ask yourself is, what needs to happen this week that you make an agreement with yourself such that if you complete it, you will be happy? And then you write it down and then you ask yourself, okay, imagine if this happens, will you be happy? And chances are what I started to notice myself write down a whole bunch of projects thinking that would make me happy. And then I played it in my mind. I synchronized it. I planned it out and I played it. I pushed play and I sat there and I let the theory play out. And I was like, all right, well, Lynn's going to work on this project. He's going to build this funnel. He's going to release this content. He's going to build this process for this team. And I'm going to play it out in my mind. Okay, brilliant. But if nothing changes and if all these projects get done, will Lynn be happy? My initial answer was yes. And then I played it out through the week. I got to the end of the week and I wasn't happy. I got it done. Hustled, got it done. Wasn't happy. So I sat there and I was like, why the fuck am I still not happy? And I started to recognize that inside a business, you and I are playing a game of money. Like, we play two things as coaches. Number one, to be able to get clients. And number two, our ability to service those clients, to be able to turn that client into a raving fan and get a testimonial. That is it. There are two primary outcomes of your business and everything else feeds into that. Number one, you're getting clients. And number two, you're ultimately delivering and over-delivering a service experience and delivering a result. How do you know you deliver a result? Well, the result is you get a testimonial. Number one, if that's the game that I'm playing, well, why isn't any of my projects actually answering these questions? Why am I building processes? Why am I building funnels? And why are the projects not adding up to the actual targets? What I started to recognize was that I was focusing on a whole bunch of releasing content, writing posts, creating processes that actually had no origin, no goals, no targets in line. What I started to realize was I was just doing a whole bunch of shit without a means to an end. That is, if all that happened this week was that if we got 5 new clients through the door, would you be happy? Yes or no? I'd be ecstatic. And if all that happened this week was that we could move the clients that we had to the next step of getting their results, would you be happy? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, brilliant. So those are the 2 targets that we need to set up. And once we have the targets, then we create the plan to achieving those targets. And the plan, we're going to ask ourselves, is this what we need to do to get towards the target? So often when I came into the week, I would be planning, I'd be creating things to do. I'd have a whole to-do list and then I'd just get overwhelmed. And then by the end of it, I would complete the to-do list only to recognize that I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't progressing. And the reasons why was because I didn't actually figure out what the target was, what I really wanted. So if you're watching this video, I'm here to tell you that the process is a lot simpler. The process to achieving the results that you want is a lot simpler. There is a target that you have as a coach in terms of your business to be able to bring in new clients. What is that target? That's it. And then create a plan to get that target towards this week and what needs to happen. And if it doesn't actually work out, then you need to sit back, look at the plan, figure out what you need to course correct, fix the plan, and then reattempt to execute on the plan the following week. On the flip side, you have your delivery mechanism by which you actually coach and deliver your services, your training programs, your support systems, your ability to actually lead and guide people to getting the results. And then at the end, well, do you have a system or process to be able to document the results that you actually achieved? The reality is there is about 30 days left in the year of 2020. COVID's been a real up year for a lot of people. It has. A lot of people crying. There are a lot of people going, hey, it's kind of up. Not only just for me, it's kind of up for everybody. And that makes me feel a little bit better. But here's the reality. Feeling better that everyone else around you is also up is not a winning mindset. Is a losing mindset, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how other people are doing. It doesn't matter who's doing well. It doesn't matter if the whole world's doing shit. At the end of the day, what matters is your business, your life. How's your life doing? How's your family? How's your wife? How's your kids? How's your husband? Were you able to actually open up and give yourself more choices and opportunities to experience more in the game of life? So look, I don't know where you're at. I don't know where your business is at. What I do know is that you haven't committed if you're not where you want to be right now. You haven't committed to a goal, a target. You haven't created a clear plan for it, and you haven't executed. At the end of the day, there's not a lot standing between you and your goals. If you want to get more clients, be willing to get in front of more people and put a message out there that's going to penetrate their heart to allow yourself to stand out from all of the noise, all the same bullshit over and over again. But in order for you to do that, you got to have the courage. You got to have the courage coming from within you. If you don't have the courage, well, shit, it's going to be a little bit hard to stand out because it takes courage to stand out. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage because you're going to say some shit that isn't going to be popular. You're going to say some shit that's going to offend somebody. You're going to stand for something in the marketplace. And when you stand for something, people are going to put you down. At the same time, advertising, marketing, selling is one aspect of your game. But if you do not over-deliver, you are simply a salesperson. There are plenty of salespeople out there. There are plenty of great internet marketers. They can sell you the dream. When it comes to delivery, they suck ass. And if you don't focus on delivery, client experience, processes, the people, the core client journey, the path, then ultimately you're also f***ed. So on one end of the spectrum, as a coach, you can get clients. On the other end of the spectrum, you must be able to get the results. Both of these two mechanisms, those are the only two problems that you have inside of your business right now. Number one, you don't know how to get clients, and I think that's a lie. Why? Because, well, getting clients is the most obvious thing because there are plenty of other people getting clients and making money every single day. You just have to open up your eyes and study them. The hardest part is the intellectual property, the processes, the systems, the course, the client journey that you create, the pathway that gets your clients results, and doing it in a manner which you're able to consistently do better and better and better every single day. I really hope right now that if you haven't squeezed the juice, that you begin to understand that there is a squeezing of the juice moment right now with advertising, that in 3 years, 5 years, the landscape is going to be so competitive that coaches are going to get so good at advertising, speaking, talking, that the cost of advertising is going to go up, that if you don't take this moment right now today and you don't pour presence and effort, not time, not reps, it's actually effort, it's actual effort of getting better and practicing, then in 3 to 5 years' time, you stand no chance. I don't say that to scare you. I say that to give you an opportunity because in every single time, in every single landscape where it's got competitive, the only way that you can get better is to get better. It's not just me. It's you. It's everyone around you. It's all of us. That inside of a place of saturation, of so much noise, of everybody posting content, the question is, are you getting better? And that yes, you're going to suck. Yes, you're going to start out at zero. Yes, I'm looking at growing the YouTube channel right now. I'm starting out like 160 subscribers. It is so like crazy to jump on YouTube and look at everyone else getting 500, 600,000 views and then jumping onto my channel and I'm like, holy shit, I got 160 subscribers. I got like 47 views. Great. I got that fear first and I got that holy shit moment. And then I was like, oh my God, well, this is amazing because then I'm going to build along this journey and I can't wait to get there. And I'm going to keep going. Wouldn't it be cool to just go through that next milestone, that next 10 subscribers, the next 100, the next 1,000, and what needs to happen in order to get that done. So with that being said, that's all I got for you on today's episode. But I want to know a question. Do you wake up on a Monday morning with a what the f*** moment? A more important question is, are you willing to set yourself up with what you ultimately want this week, play it inside of your mind so that you can actually plan out your week to start winning it instead of hoping for a win? And the third question I have for you, and too many questions, but I'll give you one last final question, is what are your targets for the week? What are your goals that you're setting out for yourself? And are they really what you want? Hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you again on another episode.